Most guys assume that when a woman starts falling for them, she'll spell it out with grand movie scene confessions, tears in her eyes, dramatic declarations, maybe even a "I think I'm in love with you" moment. But real life, it plays out far more quietly. And unless you know exactly what to listen for, you'll miss it completely. When a woman is catching feelings, she doesn't always say it directly. Instead, it leaks out in soft, seemingly casual phrases, sentences that sound ordinary on the surface, but carry layers of hidden emotion underneath. These moments are subtle, but powerful. And once you understand the psychology behind them, you'll never see her words the same way again. In this video, I'm going to reveal 3 specific sentences a woman will only say when her emotional guard is dropping and she's starting to feel something deeper for you. These aren't pickup lines or flirtation tactics. These are raw, real glimpses into her shifting emotional world. If you've ever been confused about where you stand with a woman, if you've ever wondered whether she's just being nice, or if something more is growing beneath the surface, then you need to pay attention. Because once you recognize these signs, everything changes. Let's break them down one by one. And by the end of this, you won't just hear her words. You'll feel what she's trying to tell you, even if she doesn't say it outright. I remember my friend Daniel. Good guy, smart guy, but completely blind when it came to women. He was convinced this woman he'd been spending time with was just being friendly. "She's just nice," he'd say, brushing it off like it meant nothing. But when he told me the things she had said to him, I nearly dropped my coffee. It was obvious. She wasn't just being nice. She was giving him green lights and neon. But he couldn't see it. And that's the trap most guys fall into. You see, women don't always express interest the way we expect them to. They rarely say, "I like you," or "I'm into you." They're not wired that way. Instead, they speak in hints, gentle nudges wrapped in everyday conversation. They test the waters before diving in, and if you're not paying attention, you'll mistake her subtle invitation for small talk. What Daniel didn't understand, and what most men completely miss, is that her affection wasn't hiding. It was disguised. Disguised as curiosity, disguised as little jokes, disguised as thoughtful questions or random compliments that weren't random at all. But here's the twist. Once you know what to listen for, you start hearing everything. It's like learning a secret language. And suddenly, you're not confused anymore. You're clued in. You realize her just being nice was actually a low-key confession of interest. The truth is, women drop breadcrumbs, not to play games, but to protect their own hearts. And if you can't read between the lines, you'll keep missing the trail and wonder why nothing ever clicks. So let me show you exactly what Daniel missed, because chances are you've missed it too. The very first sentence you need to pay close attention to is this: "I feel like I can tell you anything." At first glance, it might sound innocent, like something a friend would say during a deep conversation. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. This line carries far more weight than most men realize. When a woman says this, she's not just commenting on your ability to listen. She's telling you, without saying it directly, that you've become her emotional anchor. Psychologically, this is huge, because in the world of female attraction, emotional connection is the foundation. Before physical desire even enters the picture, a woman needs to feel safe, seen, heard, and understood. When she starts confiding in you about her childhood, her insecurities, the things she's afraid to admit even to herself, that's not just talk, that's trust. And trust is her way of letting you in. She's peeling back layers of herself that she doesn't show the world. And the moment she starts doing that around you, it means you've crossed an invisible threshold. You're no longer just some guy. You've become her emotional safe space, her inner circle, her refuge. Now, here's where most guys mess up. They hear that sentence and think, cool, she sees me as a good friend. Number. What she's really saying is, you've reached a part of me that most people never get close to. She's inviting you into her world, but she's doing it gently, subtly, hoping you'll recognize what it really means. So the next time a woman says, I feel like I can tell you anything, don't just nod and move on. Pay attention, because in that quiet sentence, she's telling you something far louder. You matter to her more than you realize. If you are finding value in this, make sure to like and subscribe so other men can also have access to this epic Stoic truth. Let's continue. The second phrase you'll want to listen for is this: I wish more guys were like you. At first, it might sound like a polite pat on the back, a generic compliment, the kind someone tosses out without much weight. But look closer. It's not just a compliment. It's a quiet comparison, a powerful one. What she's really saying is, you're different. And I've noticed that sentence is her way of holding you up against every man who came before and realizing you don't fit the mold. You're not pushing for attention. You're not playing games. You're showing up with presence, with patience, with something real. Maybe you listened when others talked over her. Maybe you respected her when others crossed lines. Maybe you just made her feel safe. And for her, that alone puts you in a league of your own. Now here's where most men stumble. They hear that sentence and let it inflate their ego. They take it as permission to chase, to seek approval, to move faster. But that's exactly the opposite of what works. In Stoic philosophy, this is the moment you do nothing. Outwardly, you stay still. You stay centered. You don't let her words define your value. You already know your worth. And that calm energy, that grounded presence, that's what keeps drawing her in. Because attraction isn't built in the noise. It's built in the silence between the noise, the steadiness, the certainty. The man who doesn't need to be told he's rare because he already carries himself like he is. So next time you hear, I wish more guys were like you, don't rush to respond. Just smile. Stay grounded. She didn't say it for your ego. She said it because you've already made an impression, and she's hoping you know it without needing to be told again. The third phrase might slip past you if you're not really listening. It's quiet, almost casual, but it's one of the strongest indicators that something deeper is happening beneath the surface. She says, I was thinking about what you said. Now, that might sound like nothing at first. Just a follow-up to a past conversation, right? But don't underestimate it. This isn't just her being polite or making small talk. This is her admitting, without fully realizing it, that your words stayed with her. That even after the moment passed, you were still on her mind. Think about how rare that is. Most people forget what you say the second you stop talking. But if she's thinking about something you said hours or even days later, you've made a deeper impact than you know. And here's where the psychology kicks in. When the brain repeatedly returns to a thought, especially one tied to a specific person, it starts forming emotional bonds. So if she brings up a joke you made, a piece of advice you offered, or even just a random opinion you shared, she's not doing that by accident. Her mind keeps circling back to you. Your presence is starting to echo in her thoughts. And that's one of the clearest signs that emotional attachment is forming. Most men brush this off. They don't recognize the power in it. But you should. Because when a woman remembers your words, she's beginning to remember you. Not just what you said, but how you made her feel when you said it. And feelings? They're the doorway to something much bigger. So pay attention to that one quiet sentence. It's louder than it seems. Here's the curveball most men never see coming. Those phrases. Women don't shout them. They slip them in casually, like it's nothing. But it's the repetition that reveals the truth. If you hear just one, maybe it's a coincidence. But if all three show up over time, it's not random, it's real interest. This is where the Stoic mindset makes all the difference. You're not looking for constant proof. You're not chasing her emotions. You're simply aware. You observe without needing to control. That's what I told Daniel. And when he finally paused and looked back on their conversations, it hit him. She'd said every one of those lines, not once, but consistently. And the moment he stopped trying to figure her out, stopped overthinking every word, she leaned in. She began reaching out, showing effort. Her energy shifted because real attraction doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to presence. And Stoicism? It reminds us of what we control, our energy, our posture, our self-respect. That's what makes her notice. That's what makes her stay. When you meet her signals with calm, steady presence, something powerful happens. You don't just hold her attention, you intensify it. So the next time she says, "I feel like I can tell you anything," or "I wish more guys were like you," or even, "I was thinking about what you said," don't brush it off as harmless chatter. That's not small talk. That's emotional truth wrapped in subtlety. It's her way of reaching out without exposing everything. It's the quiet language of attraction, and the man who knows how to recognize it without overreacting, without needing to control it, is the man who becomes unforgettable. Hear it, respect it, stay grounded, because the one who learns that balance, he never chases, he draws her in. If this message struck something in you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more